time now to introduce Stephen Phipson, as you know. He's Make UK's Chief Executive, following a long career running manufacturing businesses and 5 years as the Head of Defence and Security Organisation within the Department for International Trade. Stephen has been working tirelessly to champion British manufacturing since becoming the CEO of Make UK in 2017. Put your hands together for Stephen Phipson.
Well, very good morning. It's great to be here. And thank you to Steph for your 7 years. It's wonderful to have you back comparing our event here today and seeing all of you here after 2 years of having a break during the pandemic. It's great to be here. I'd like to take this opportunity first off to welcome our new chair, Lord Hutton, who's sitting with us at the front today. And of course, to thank Dame Judith Hackett for her 7 years of leadership of Make UK. So that change just happened in the last few weeks. So we're very pleased to welcome John to our board. It's good to have you here. And it speaks to the crucial importance and relevance of manufacturing, I think, that we're able to have such high caliber leaders and figures chair our organisation. So that's a really good testament to manufacturing and Make UK. When we were last together in February 2020, we were beginning to see the very first impacts of the pandemic. But I think few of us then could have imagined the challenges and the turmoil that we were going to see over the next 2 years. Throughout the pandemic, manufacturing has led the national effort to keep businesses open, people in jobs and products available to customers. I know that many of you here today were essential in ensuring that the wheels kept turning, the shelves remained stocked, and our people were able to work safely. The hard work and resilience of UK manufacturers and contribution to the country in rapidly adapting manufacturing capacity to provide PPE, ventilators, testing capacity and sanitisers to the public has been recognised by this government. And other sectors have also recognised the contribution of manufacturing more broadly, which has been a really positive effect of the pandemic in many respects in an otherwise very dark time for the country. But something good for us. So for many years, manufacturing has not been at the forefront of the public consciousness. But we also know that many other manufacturing companies had to dramatically reduce their output, in some cases cease operations because demand collapsed during that period. I also want to pay tribute to those of you who had to make incredibly difficult decisions, who have had to access support from the government to keep your businesses alive. We at Make UK fought every day to make sure that government did everything they could to help you as manufacturers. And I'm pleased that so many people who are in such a difficult place are now back up and running again. That's very important for our sector. No one should ever underestimate the resilience of British manufacturers. In fact, throughout my career in manufacturing, I've always been proud of how UK manufacturers consistently demonstrate their ingenuity and resilience, providing technological solutions to the biggest challenges that we face. And now from healthcare to climate change, clean transport and green energy, manufacturers are once again leading the way. We should be very proud of our contribution to the UK economy. Manufacturing is worth £180 billion to the UK, and we employ 2.5 million people in highly skilled, highly paid jobs, way above the average in the country. We account for about half the UK's total exports to the world, which is vital as global Britain, and every one job in manufacturing supports many more jobs across other industries. And of course, we are the major contributor to the R&D investment that happens in this country. We at Make UK will never stop working hard on your behalf, and I'm incredibly proud that in 2021 alone, even during the difficult time, and despite those restrictions, we had more than 400 political engagements during that period, and we were mentioned in the media 8,500 times. So really good profile for the manufacturing sector. So, as Steph said, a bit more about today. Let me try and give you a bit more of a flavour of what we can expect to hear today at the conference. Our deep and strong relationships with government, media and beyond are reflected in the fantastic quality of the speakers that we have with us today. I'm delighted that we'll be joined this afternoon by Secretary of State for BEIS, which is Kwasi Kwarteng, obviously, who will talk about the opportunities and challenges facing business in the current climate. And as you know, alongside other business leaders, I meet with Kwasi every week on a Monday afternoon typically to discuss your concerns specifically. So it's a very short route to get to the ear of the Secretary of State. And I know he is a great ally to our sector and will provide some fascinating insight when we hear from him later on. And we can build on Kwasi's comments this evening, if you're staying for our dinner, by having some insights from Minister Lee Rowley, who will be with us this evening to give us a bit more of a detailed speech about his view of the manufacturing sector in general. With a general election expected within the next 2 years, it's also important for us as manufacturers to hear from the opposition. So I'm very pleased that we'll also hear from the Shadow Secretary of State for BEIS, which is Jonathan Reynolds, as Steph told us. He'll give us some insight into Labour's view on the role of industrial policy. Jonathan is a very good friend of Make UK and has been an advocate for manufacturing throughout his career in Parliament, so we're incredibly pleased that he continues this passion in his current role. Away from the front line of government, we'll also hear views on what may be on the horizon from Andrew Neil, who will give us his insights, and of course from Lord William Hague, as Steph said earlier. And as the former Foreign Secretary, Lord Hague is also ideally qualified to talk about the challenging geopolitical situation in which companies such as ours must now operate, and how the global outlook may develop in the near or longer term. So we'll hear those insights from William a bit later on. In 2021, we saw the manufacturing sector prioritise recovery through rebuilding workforces, sustaining business growth, and creating opportunity in an uncertain business environment. As we know only too well, manufacturers have navigated immediate and severe issues over the last year, including supply chain disruption, unprecedented material cost increases, and chronic labour shortages. But this has not stopped you also tackling transformative challenges, such as the transition to a net zero future and adoption of digital technologies at a faster rate than ever before. We are proud to represent a sector who are at the forefront of advanced manufacturing, from advanced materials and steel production in this country to space vehicles, training the next generation of engineers and providing innovative, world-leading solutions to the world's biggest economic challenges. Together, in 2022, manufacturing is delivering sustained and stable growth. As I said, the manufacturing sector employs 2.5 million people, with wages around 13% higher than the rest of the economy. We'll be continuing that journey to transition to a net zero economy. Over 3/4 of manufacturers in the country, according to our recent surveys, now plan to implement a net zero strategy in their business within the next 2 years. We're leading the way there in manufacturing. Building resilient workplaces and workforces. Almost 9 out of 10 manufacturers are concerned about skills leaving their business in 2022. And of course, we need resilience as we digitise. And so the other side of digitisation, of course, is that cyber protection is absolutely vital. And you'll have a chance today to explore some of the latest technology with our partners in the cyber security world, which is absolutely vital. And of course, manufacturers operate without borders, basically. 4 out of 5 manufacturers are exporting their goods and services around the globe. And together with DIT, we want to make sure we continue that momentum and get more of our particular SMEs, in particular, exporting around the world. Absolutely vital. So I'm delighted that today we'll delve into these issues and look at how we as a sector move forward and grow. We will have breakout sessions, as described earlier, where you'll be able to share best practice on subjects from net zero transition and decarbonising to the production of basic materials, to addressing current and future skills gaps in your workforces, as well as considering the importance of social value in public procurement, something I'm personally quite passionate about. The last 2 years have highlighted huge challenges across global supply chains, so we'll have sessions analysing new global relationships and how we can build resilience in these supply chains, and how onshoring and vertical integration strategies should benefit UK manufacturing and be able to grow our sector in the UK. We're also joined today by apprentices from Make UK's training hub in Aston, which is one of the largest apprentice training centres in the country, something we're very, very proud of. They'll be undertaking an exciting challenge over the course of the day, which you'll hear a bit more about just after me. I think someone's going to come up and explain it to you. But if you haven't visited it, in the back of the hall there, that's where the apprentices are working. They were all tucked away earlier. We ordered them breakfast because I know they needed to be fed, so all of that has absolutely been going on in the back of the hall behind us. Every time I visit the hub up in Birmingham, I'm astonished by the dynamic, innovative young people who I meet there. And if they are the future of British manufacturing, then we're in very safe hands. So, by backing manufacturing and making your voice heard, we've shown that it is manufacturers who are spearheading the UK's economic recovery. It's manufacturers who are developing the green technologies and innovations to protect our planet. And it is manufacturers who are recruiting and training the next generation of talent to lead our businesses. Manufacturing is a major part of the solution to many of the challenges we face, and is a key part of this government's initiatives in everything from levelling up to driving innovation and productivity. The last 2 years have been incredibly challenging, and whilst there are some delicate green shoots of recovery for manufacturing, we are only too aware that we're facing eye-watering cost increases, as I said earlier, including the cost of raw materials and energy prices. These are pushing many towards a tipping point at the moment. Without support for the immediate cost pressures, businesses will not be able to move forwards on the transformative challenges which we're discussing today. Manufacturers do need to see a long-term economic vision from government that has enterprise growth and innovation at its heart to encourage boardrooms to make the crucial decision to invest here in the UK and not overseas. And this is the message that I will continue to be taking to the Business Secretary, the Chancellor and other ministers over the coming months. Make UK members represent the cream of UK advanced manufacturing, and I have huge confidence in knowing that you are the future of our industry. I'm hugely proud to stand here today representing British manufacturers, a sector whose world-class innovation has allowed it to compete and lead for a decade after decade on the international stage, and will continue to do so for many years to come, I'm sure. Thank you very much, and have a great conference. Thank you.